Hello, I'm Jeffrey Kirk. When your potential customers and clients are sitting in front of an empty Google search box, you hope they find your business, right? Google is the most used search engine in the world. Currently, as of 2021, Google has more than 92% of the global search engine market share. Therefore, it's quite likely that a large number of your prospects are using Google to search for what you have to offer. Since that's the case, you need to work with Google to move ahead of your competition. In order to appear on the first page of Google results, you have to give Google what they want, what they care about most. But what is that? Keep in mind that Google's business model is to create a great user experience, and that means they want to send visitors to exactly the website that fulfills their search request. If someone clicks on a search result and 5 seconds later is back at Google doing another search, well then Google failed to deliver. Consider this, if 100% of the time that you did a search, you got exactly what you wanted, wouldn't you always use that search provider? That's what Google wants you to do. Therefore, hitting that 100% target is their goal. So how can they best deliver on these user experience goals? What factors do they have to consider as quality indicators? That's what they care about. And for your purposes, there are 3 things you must consider. Those top 3 things are uniqueness, relevancy, and popularity. Very briefly, I'll define each of these. First, uniqueness is about the content, mostly the words on your website. You can easily imagine that this is important. What would happen if websites were not unique? What if there were 1,000 identical websites in response to your search? What would Google display? They could just as well present the sites to you randomly. You certainly don't want your site mixed in with 1,000 identical sites, so it's good for you to know that you control uniqueness 100%. Make sure your site is different from other sites and you're giving Google the uniqueness that they want. Second is relevancy. Relevancy is the relationship between your site and the search words chosen. In other words, the closer your site matches the topic searched, the more relevant your site is to those search results. By choosing how you present your uniqueness, you can have a large impact on relevancy. For example, if someone is searching for your business by name, your website should match with 100% relevancy. If they search for what you do, your business should also be very relevant. If they search for one of your services, your business should also be relevant. But how does your website present itself when someone searches by name, by business type, or by service? And how many competitors exist for your business type and service, or your business name for that? And how well do those competitors work to achieve relevancy? By answering these questions and modifying your website to address the answers, and then create more relevancy, your business can move up in the search results. In a future video, I'll get into some important elements that help you create the relevancy that you need. But for now, you need to understand that relevancy is in your control, but not 100%. It's not to the same degree as uniqueness. The third item to consider is popularity. Popularity is the factor where you have the least amount of control. Ultimately, the question of popularity is the answer to the question, do people really care about what your site has to say? If nobody cares, then there's no point in displaying your website, even if it's unique and relevant. But if people like to visit and use your site, and then it is there to demonstrate popularity, it can win out over less popular sites. These days, popularity is not just about visits to your website, but also visits to your physical business location. Imagine you have a competing business across the street, and more people walk into that business than yours. Which business is more popular? Unfortunately, your competitor's business. And with everyone who carries an Android-based smartphone, Google knows exactly how many people are walking through the doors of every business. They know which ones are more popular. So uniqueness, relevancy, and popularity are 3 key things that Google wants. Of course, there is more to each of these, but if you understand the concepts, then you have a pretty good basis to make improvements. Before I leave you today, let me talk briefly about Google's algorithms, the programming they use to determine what shows up in the search results. The details of their algorithms are more or less secret, but the overriding impact is not. Each time Google makes an algorithmic adjustment, they're attempting to get closer to their goal of total search perfection. To do that, they are adjusting various factors related to uniqueness, relevancy, and popularity. No one knows more about human activity on the internet than Google does. They can use this vast data to judge the searcher's intent in an attempt to provide the exact information that is desired on any given search. As more people come online to do searches, and as more services become available, the importance of some of the data shifts. Google can take advantage of that new knowledge to produce better and better results. They want the searchers to be happy. Therefore, to create the greatest chance of getting your site seen in Google search results, you want to work on all three of these major factors. You have to improve your website: uniqueness, relevancy, and popularity. Remember earlier I said that if someone clicks on a search result and 5 seconds later is back at Google doing another search, that Google failed to deliver? Well, that's Google's perspective. If someone bounces back to search, they did not bring up a site that was a good match for the searcher's desires. But is that bounce really Google's fault? Possibly. And because they believe it's their fault, you know they will correct this error by reducing the chances of bringing up that site again. Could that bounce be the searcher's fault? Possibly. It could be that they didn't properly define their search relative to what they truly want to define, so the relevancy was off. But could the bounce be the website's fault? Yes, absolutely. It's quite likely the searcher was not pleased with the website. Odds are pretty good that this is where the real fault lies. When a visitor bounces, that site did not do what was necessary to keep the visitor, engage the visitor, and deliver what the visitor was seeking. So another way to look at that key sentence is this. If someone clicks on your website in the search results and 5 seconds later is back at Google doing another search, then your site failed to deliver. Your brochure, if you have one, is a physical object that contains static information. From the moment it is printed until the moment the last one is handed out or thrown away, it does not change. It's a leave behind, something someone can refer to quickly if they need to be reminded of something. For far too many businesses, they still treat their website much the same way. Yet a website is not physical in nature, and it can be amazingly dynamic. Think about Google's website. Not only does it dynamically respond to every search, but it's even getting smart enough to modify its results based on the needs and habits of each individual searcher. Google changes the way their site works all the time in an effort to better perform for the searchers. Of course, your business is not Google. You are trying to reach consumers or other businesses as potential customers. But shouldn't you change your website to better serve your audience? For your best success, it must be changed. Not willy-nilly, but in a smart way. When Google sends visitors to your site and those visitors like what they see and stay there, then you are helping Google achieve their vision of search perfection. Do that and you'll make Google happy. And when Google is happy with your site and your business, it can rank at the top of the search results, generating the traffic that can convert and become the lifeblood of your business. That's it for now. Thank you for watching. I hope this information helps you with your online business success. Please subscribe to my channel and then share this video with your business friends. Thanks and have a great day. See you again soon.